Okay, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Laura Ciriminna, and will thank you to join us for this ECOP Wednesday, the series of seminar that the Romanian board promotes to connect young researchers from similar from different background, but usually working about oceans. So please take note of these simple housekeeping rules. So please make sure your name is well written, keep your microphone off, and if you have any question after the presentation, please raise your hand before speaking.
Hi, Laura. Sorry, we don't see your
Oh,
slides.
no?
No.
Sorry, I have. Okay, I will try again. Okay. Just one moment, I will try again. Okay. Now?
Yeah, that's good now. You need to make it full screen. Yeah, there we go.
But it's just one moment because I'm not able to see both. Mm. No. Okay. Maybe no. Sorry, I have some problem with the condivision. Now you can see the slide.
No, now it's gone.
No?
Before we could see it.
Uh, I don't know what is the problem. Now? Yes, it's working
Yes, but
in full screen.
no, we see two slides side by side.
Oh, okay. Mm, I will try again. Okay, maybe this way.
That looks good. We can see.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can see the
full screen.
presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry guys for this inconvenient. Okay, we are. This is the our ECOP Wednesday for the month of November, and what is the ECOP Wednesday series? It's a series of seminar thinked for early career ocean profession and to link with other people with the same interest that work on a similar topic about the marine topic or coastal management. And it's thinked to connect these people because probably they can have a different background, but showing together their work can create something more interesting and adapt to fill the gap between a researcher and a policymaker. Today I have two roles in this case as a moderator, but also as a speaker, because I will present a part of my work about the use of alternative and sustainable feed in aquaculture, aiming to promote sustainable practices for aquaculture system. I will also remember you that we have the next edition on the 3rd of December. Our speaker will be Dorothy Jane Dunkel, and the topics will be extending the peer community for science-based ocean futures inside of the transformative chain for ECOPs. So now I will show you my presentation, and thank you and sorry again for the first problem. Condividi. Ok. Okay, please let me know if the screen is okay.
Yep, it's okay.
As I did before, I'm Laura Ciriminna. I'm from the Department of Earth and Marine Science of the University of Palermo. I started studying here for my bachelor degree, and then I continued with my master degree and my PhD, and now I'm working during my postdoc fellow. I stated before, the main topic of my work is promoting sustainability in the aquaculture sector. And in particular, I work about the production of alternative and eco-friendly feeds and on the farming of low-trophic species. So this is the title of my presentation. And why we need to talk about sustainable aquaculture. The main problem, as everybody knows, is the overfishing. The overfishing has significant environmental, economic, and social impact, including the depletion of fleet population, disruption for marine ecosystem, and loss of biodiversity. By removing key species can cause imbalance, leading to overgrowth of other organisms and the collapse of ecosystem. For example, overfishing of herbivorous fish can cause algae overgrowth and kill coral reef. Also, destructive fishing methods like bottom trawling can damage or destroy marine habitats, including coral reef and seagrass bed. So it's important to find a way to reduce overfishing, but finding a way to fill the gap between the market demand and the natural supply. Usually, the aquaculture sector is indicated as the best solution to fill the gap between market demand and natural supply. Aquaculture can mitigate overfishing by providing an alternative source of seafood, as aquaculture, of course, produce seafood in controlled environments, lessening the need to catch as many fish from the wild. By providing an alternative, aquaculture can reduce fishing pressure, allowing overfished species to recover. Some form of aquaculture involving intentional release of hatchery raised organisms to rebuild over-depleted wild stock. And more important, as global population is expected to reach 9 billion in 2050, aquaculture can help meet increasing global demand of seafood, contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal. In particular, the second, zero hunger, but also responsible consumption and production, and of course, the conservation of the life below water. But even if aquaculture is usually considered the best option to fill the gap between market demand with a sustainable approach, also farming practice has present some challenge, because aquaculture farming can cause increase of pollution due to uneaten feed, or also the production of waste from the aquaculture cages, but can also release pharmaceuticals and other chemicals in the environment, with a serious or detrimental effect on the benthonic communities. Aquaculture can lead to habitat destruction, as coastal and estuarine environments, as for example, mangrove forests have been destroyed in some cases due to the presence of aquaculture farms. There are also problems with the lack of diversification in aquaculture species. Is a key problem because a few species dominate the global production, and this leads to significant risk for the industry and the food security. And in the last, but really important, the use of unsustainable feed, because usually the feed used for aquaculture are produced using fish meal, fish oil, and other ingredients that are not sustainable for the development of this sector. And all these impacts needs to be resolved to consent the aquaculture to be inserted in the management cost, the management of the cost. However, there are some strategies for sustainable aquaculture development and conservation promotion. But achieving an harmonious balance requires strategic planning and management. Some case strategies include the responsible site selection, that's the location of the farms in area with lower ecological sensitivity, away from critical habitats like seagrass or mangrove nurseries, can help to minimize harms. From a technological point of view, there are the possibility to use the recirculating aquaculture system that are land-based and closed-loop system that reuse the water, reducing in this way effluent discharge and the risk of escape and disease on the water column. Also, we can talk about the integrated multi-trophic aquaculture system. That is an innovative approach with aim to cultivate different species from various trophic levels, so that one species waste becomes nutrients for another, creating a closed loop system that can minimize pollution. Also, we have the possibility to boost aquaculture diversification. For example, use new species that can support the development of a robust food production system. System, because today the more than half that the production is covered by fish, just a low percentage by seaweed and algae, but a really low production is apported by other marine organisms like invertebrates or amphibians. And finally, the use of sustainable feed for aquaculture could be, of course, an important solution to reduce the impact of the production of feed. So, starting from this consideration, we choose to work on species diversification, cultivating species with lower feed requirements, so deposit feeders, filter feedings, or herbivore fish, and in particular, we choose to work with echinoderms. Both sea urchins and sea cucumbers. Sea urchins are probably everybody knows sea urchins are they spiny globular marine invertebrates commonly found in various oceanic environments from rock pools to kelp forest. The ecological role is really important because are herbivorous organisms that control algae growth or reef and rocky stones. So they can contribute to the health of this ecosystem and serving as a crucial food source for predators. There are a lot of edible sea urchin species, common consumed in Asia. But the problem is that the commercial value of sea urchins combined with the ecological role of struggling species in benthic community make them a target species for aquaculture because the boost of commercial fishing, in contrast to the traditional method, has led to the overexploitation of the wild stocks. And in Europe, the most exploited sea urchin is the purple sea urchin Pracentotus lividus, that is appreciated due to the bright orange roe. And in Italy, in this moment, it's forbidden to catch Paracentrotus because the introduction of the new fishing method, together with the spread of illegal and unlicensed fishing, has led to the overexploitation of the wild stocks. Similarly, for the sea cucumbers, they are important case species because they act as ocean cleaners by consuming the detritus, the sediment, assimilating the organic matter, and recycling it, giving a new work in the organic matter cycle. As for the sea urchins, sea cucumbers have been a popular and traditional food in Asian countries since ancient times, and today represent an economically important market due to the high market value. Similarly, due to the overfishing of the Asian wild stock, now there is a new market for the Mediterranean species, because here in the Mediterranean we are not used to consume sea cucumbers. But now, with the opening of the Asian market, there is an increased attention on the fish of sea cucumbers also in the Mediterranean Sea. And today, in some countries like Spain and Italy, it's forbidden catch and sell sea cucumbers because there is really a lack of the information on their distribution, their ecology, and it's difficult to manage the overfishing. As you can see by this slide, these organisms are not able to defend itself, so are really easy to catch also in massive quantity. So we start working about the development of aquaculture of these two kind of organisms. But we had to contrast the incredible lack of information, not only about the ecology, but also we had to find a way to contrast their characteristics, because the sea urchins needs long time to reach the cell sites because they grow really low. They scarce grow rate. Today, we need to use specimens from wild stock because there are no full cycle production. And the market quality, the quality requested by the market is really high. So we need to control a lot of parameters before consider a product adapted for the sale. But one of the main bottlenecks is the lack on an efficient but also a low impact feeds, because we need to consider that sea cucumbers and sea urchins are considered a luxury food, a delicacy, not a primary food source for the population. So we need to find a way to farm them, but considering the importance of the ingredients for the aquaculture feeds. I was talking about the importance of the ingredients because the main problem is that usually the feed for aquaculture in general are composed by or macroalgae or fish meal and fish oil or terrestrial vegetables. The problem are different for each ingredient. For the macroalgae, we have high harvesting and stocking cost, high seasonal variability, and low efficacy. That is a problem when you work in a productive sector. But recently, there is another problem, that is the conflict with the direct human consumption, because macroalgae are a potential food source also for the population. Similarly, fish meal and fish oil are considered unsustainable because has high cost, high environmental impacts, because usually for the production of fish meal and fish oil were used some fish from stocks that are already overexploited. So it's impossible to continue in this way. And finally, there is recently a lot of studies were focused on the possibility to use terrestrial vegetables or cereal as alternative. But of course, it's impossible because the conflict with the direct human consumption, but also because to grow terrestrial vegetables need soil and water, and it's impossible in this moment think about the use of soil and water for ingredient for aquaculture feed for sea urchins or sea cucumbers. So we choose to point the attention on food discards from the food retail chain. Because every year 1/3 of the food produced worldwide for human consumption is lost or wasted during the different phases of the food retail chains. Globally, about 1 billion of food are lost or wasted each year. And only in Europe, we generate 50 millions of tons of food waste during along all the food retail chain. This kind of waste are not just a waste of food, but can impact also because the waste decomposition process. Because food loss and waste account for an estimated 10% of annual global greenhouse gas emission. Organic waste decomposition in landfills and wastewater system, and to a lesser extent during composition, release greenhouse gases like methane and carbon dioxide. So these are the problem to the management of the wastes. But this kind of waste has the potential to be used as ingredient for aquaculture feeds, because they contain fiber, protein, mineral content, for example, the vegetable wastes, but also the discard from the food processing, the feed processing, like bone, head, skin, are rich in fatty acid, in lipids, could be really interesting when inserted as ingredient for aquaculture feed. So we decided to always use a plant-based ingredient consisting of all the overripe lettuce leaves or scrapped from the processing of vegetable before the sale. So we use this kind of lettuce, cabbage, cauliflower, and we mixed them with other ingredients, usually a meal composed by a fish meal or a krill meal or mussel meal, or also with a meal produced by discard, by anchovy discards. And to test this kind of feed, we choose to insert in every experiment on a control treatment, usually composed by macroalgae like Ulva or Laminaria. We started working on Paracentotus lividus. That was the first species that we studied. And we proceeded with several steps, starting from the first question, if vegetable discard were suitable as diet for sea urchin, because of course sea urchins could be considered herbivorous, but of course they not eat terrestrial vegetables that are really different from macroalgae. So then we start testing in juvenile in adult sea urchin to see if they improve gonadic and somatic growth, but also we tested the gonad quality because it was the final product that we need to study it to rise until the market quality requested. And then we try to find another way to propose Syrkin gonads, because the traditional way needs the sacrifice of the sea urchin, so there are an impact on the population. And finally, we tried to test also the efficacy of this feed on the reproductive efficiency of the farming organism. For the evaluation of proposed feed, we conducted a lot of different experiments and trial aiming to investigate a lot of parameters: feeding rate, feeding assimilation, somatic and gonadic growth, the general quality of the produced gonad, and also the nutritional value thinked for human consumption. And in particular, since sea urchins gonads are today considered a delicacy, we pointed more attention on the sites, so the production in quantity, but also in quality, testing and measuring the coloration, because this is the first parameter that you can judge at first sight, and is considered particularly important for the market demand. So we had positive results during all these steps. In first way, we observe a growth in the juveniles in test diameter, so in the tag of this sea urchin, but also in the somatic growth with total weight increase, and also with gonad production, also in juveniles that of course need more efficient feed to grow and to satisfy all the metabolic requests. And we tried the first ingredient, so the fresh outermost leaves of lettuce, with some addition with egg white and also with commercial feeds to search a more balanced composition for the feed. And we have interesting results in the increase of gonad weight and gonad index. So we had really important result, and we proposed a feed to be to enter in the commerce. And then we produced a feed composed only by food discards, using two different formulation with more or less vegetable ingredients. We have positive and encouraging results when compared with wild sea urchin, but also with the control treatment. In particular, with the final color of the gonad that were excellent in the most of the cases. Finally, we worked about another in another direction, so that's changing the way to propose the final product, because as I say before, the sea urchins are sold for the gonads. So to collect the gonads, you need to cut the specimen, so to sacrifice it. But we, starting from a new methodology developed by the University of Tor Vergata, we tested our feeds to produce sea urchin caviar, so stimulating the eggs production. And in this way, we are able to preserve the experimental pools and not to start again every time a new cycle with new specimens. And this is really important for the sustainability of the echinoculture. Also, in this case, we had positive results, combining the lettuce discard con some rich ingredients like fish meal, fish krill, or mussel meal. But we have a positive result also with the feed composed just by food discard, the diet that give similar results if compared with other treatment. Then another step was to test the effect of this feed on reproduction. So we tested the experimental feed on larval development, studying the Pluteus stage, and using an index, a ponderated index, able to quantify the relative frequency of malformation observed during the larval development. We saw that in contrast with all the other experiments, the diet composed by macroalgae was more performant in this kind of experiment than the other tested feed that were good for the gonad growth and gonad production. So we put some new consideration to maintain an aliquot of macroalgae or microalgae in the food to have a better formulation. Similarly, we started working on sea cucumbers, but as I said before, for sea cucumbers there are an enormous lack of knowledge, not only about their feeding, their preferred feed or food source, but also on the ecology, on the reproduction is a new topic here in Europe. So we started just try to, in the same way, if vegetable discards are suitable for sea cucumber feeding. And of course, we had to adjust in the same way the production of the feeds, because sea cucumbers are deposit feeders. So we need to introduce the sediment in the formulation that is enormous inorganic, had an enormous inorganic content. So we tried other ingredients from the food retail chains like potato peels, bran, anchovy discard, and pumpkin seed on some of the commercial sea cucumber species. And in particular, I I conducted an experiment in Vigo, in Spain, called Hologrot, aiming on testing fungus as feed ingredients for the aquaculture of deposit feeder sea cucumbers. But what I want to underline is that this experiment was conducted thanks to the Assemble Plus Transition Access Program. That is a program that give some funding to young researchers to run the experiment in some of the facilities of the Euromarine network. And this is important because the possibility to use this funding resource indicates that sea cucumber aquaculture is an interesting topic in this moment for the European research community. Lastly, another topic in which we are entering in this month is about the multi-trophic aquaculture system that combine the cultivation of feed aquaculture species, so a primary species like fish, with other species that are usually inorganic extractives like seaweeds or algae, and organic extractive species like sea cucumber or sea urchins. So we did a first trial in collaboration with the University of Tor Vergata in Gaeta, in the middle part of Italy. We put some sea cucumbers in the area around the cages of an aquaculture farming system. And we use stable isotope to track the simulation from of the sea cucumbers of the waste released by the cages, in particular where uneaten feed or feces from the primary species. And we have some positive results that indicates that sea cucumber are able to survive under the cages and also to assimilate the organic matter. But we need more study about the density of sea cucumber needed under the cages to reduce consistently the organic matter that arrive on the bottom. So it's just we need to work more on this topic. And that is, I think it's everything. Thank you for the attention. Of course, if you have any question, please